Hello friends, in the series on income tax cases, today we will discuss a very important issue which is related to the taxability of monthly rental compensation which has been received by the assessee from the developer for giving his flat for redevelopment, and for the meantime the developer gives assessee to the monthly rental compensation for alternate accommodation. The issue before the Honorable Ι.Τ.Α SMC bench, Bombay, was that whether this amount is taxable as a revenue receipt or whether it is a capital receipt, especially in a case when the assessee is not utilizing that amount for paying the rent because he is living with his parents in the intervening period. This issue has been taken up by the tribunal in the case of Ajay, Parasmal, Kothari versus Income Tax Officer. In this case is reported in 126 Ι.Τ.Α Tribunal at page 511, and the date of the judgment is 3rd April 2023. In the present case, the assessment year involved is 1314. The assessee is dealing in shades. The assessee was having some commission income and consultancy income. His case was selected for scrutiny, and during the scrutiny proceedings, the assessing officer came to know that the assessee has given his property for the redevelopment to the builder, and the builder has paid some amount to the assessee as monthly rental compensation for alternate accommodation, which the assessee has taken as a capital receipt in his computation of income, meaning thereby that the assessee has not paid any tax on that. The assessee was show-caused that why this income should not be treated as revenue receipt and accordingly taxed. The assessee gave its explanation that it is not his regular income, it is given as a compensation for the alternate accommodation and it is a capital receipt. But the learned assessing officer of the considered view that the assessee has not utilized that amount for the accommodation because the assessee was living with his parents during the intervening period. So he said that this amount is taxable in the hands of the assessee. The CIT appeal also upheld the view of the assessing officer. The assessee got late in filing the appeal before the tribunal by a 1566 days, and when the assessee was asked to explain the cause of delay, the assessee said that he was not properly guided by the professional for the purpose of filing the appeal. The tribunal find the explanation of the assessee plausible explanation for doing the condonation of delay for the 1566 days. So friends, from this case it comes out that if the assessee does not get the proper advice and the assessee is able to substantiate that, then the condonation can be allowed on this ground also. When on the merits, the tribunal heard the matter, the tribunal said that in the present case there is no doubt that the assessee has received some monthly rental compensation for alternate accommodation. It does not make a difference that whether the assessee has paid this amount to the for paying the rent, only because the assessee has lived with his parents during that intervening period does not take away this fact that the assessee has not faced any hardship by vacating his flat. Since the assessee has faced the hardship by vacating his flats, at the same time the amount received by the assessee as monthly rental compensation for alternate accommodation becomes capital receipt. So the basis of addition by the assessing officer that since the assessee has not paid the amount for paying the rent does not make any difference. Friends, this case is very important because nowadays in a number of the cases it has been seen that the properties are being given for redevelopment to the builders. The builder makes the arrangement for payment of the monthly rental compensation to the assessee. So this case can be very helpful. There is a clear message that this monthly rental compensation received by the assessee for the intervening period is not a revenue receipt, it is a capital receipt. At the end of this video, once again I am repeating the name of the case. The name of the case is Ajay, Parasmal, Kothari versus Income Tax Officer, and this case is reported in 126 Ι.Τ.Α Tribunal at page number 511, and the date of the judgment is 3rd April 2023. 23. Thank you, friends.